Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. And today we bring you a special. It is the company Ferns and Petals. And joining me today is the founder and managing director, Mr. Vikaas Gutgutia. Vikaas, thank you for joining us on this show on Business Today Television. Quite, I'd say, the season of flowers.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, Vikas, let's start off. You complete 30 years in 2024. How would you describe the journey over the past 30 years with Ferns and Petals?
I think it's been a very, very, tough, interesting, and at the end of it, it's definitely the sense of achievement. And I think the initial start was, of course, tough because I got into a business which is not an easy business to be and largely unorganized. But now, of course, things are looking up, and we've got 11 verticals, and all of them are unique and doing well.
Right. Okay, considering the various ventures, because you've mentioned about the 11 verticals that have been launched alongside the flower business, do you perceive this as a high risk endeavor because it's a lot of verticals that you're juggling with?
See, basically, it's only two verticals which are a little different than the USP of Ferns and Petals. We are basically primarily a flower and a wedding company. All our verticals are related to these two categories mostly, except the medical tourism and last journey and the F&P media. And I think they are diversification, you can say.
Okay. Now, your revenues have remained relatively stable for the two consecutive years. What growth strategy do you have in mind for the upcoming year?
You see, we have gone through a phase where we were growing very rapidly, and the Corona hit us. That was something which made us learn and readjust our strategy, and that was the time we started this company last journey. So we have always been very, very proactive in terms of doing what to sustain and be relevant. And now we definitely expect in this year, in the coming year, to be growing at the same rate as our pre-pandemic level.
Okay. Could you give us some insights on what were the revenues like in the pre-pandemic level? As much as I see, as per the data, FY23 for you was at 600 crores, close to 600 to 700 crores. What was it before like? Was there a quick jump seen after COVID?
See, but normally, barring these 2 3 years of COVID and post-COVID, we have been growing at 25 to 30% year on year. So that like now maybe this year we'll be closing at 800 plus.
Oh, so at year ending March, you'll be closing at 800 plus. What is the kind of turnover you expect for FY25?
I think we definitely think that if you're able to hit the magical figure of 1,000, it will be a sense of achievement and a great teamwork. But if not 1,000, of course, 900 plus.
Okay, that's great. That's another 25% jump that you're looking at. On a lighter note, I mean, of course, the business of weddings never ends in India, but this year is also the election season. Does that give you more opportunities for business?
I think God has its own plan, and this year, because elections are in the month of May, unfortunately, that there are no Saya dates in May this year. So it's not. It's kind of it's not gonna clash with the election period. Weddings normally get affected when the elections happen. So this year there are no weddings in May at all.
Right, but does elections and the fact that there's going to be celebration about having the next government for 5 years, does that give you business?
Of course, I mean, we are in the business of emotions, we are in the business of celebration. So, whenever anything good or bad happens, we directly get affected.
Okay, got it. Regarding future growth, tell us what are your plans for expansion for the flower business?
See, as far as flower business is concerned, we call ourselves a gifting company now. From we used to call ourselves Ferns and Petals. Now we call us FNP. FNP is more about a gifting solution. So flower is one of the categories. Now we have got more than 30,000 products in different categories. So we have redesigned and replaced ourselves as a gifting company, which is which has got wings in the other countries as well. So international expansion, adding new, categories to our portfolio, and innovating, and using technology to remain ahead of others. They are the few, I think, lowest hanging fruits.
Okay, because are you rebranding yourself to be called as a gifting company? Because Ferns and Petals, the name really resonates a lot with the flower business.
That's what we have done. We have last year we changed our name from Ferns and Petals to FNP, which is a short name of Ferns and Petals. So it's a earlier our tagline used to be flowers anytime, anywhere. Now it's emotions gift wrapped.
Okay, emotions gift wrapped. I get that. You did mention about an amalgamation of 12 sectors that FNP is operating. Tell us which division or sector yields the highest profits?
It depends, but I think, of course, our gifting is our number one business.
Okay, just to get a rough idea, how much is the percentage that gifting business yields out of the total?
I think gifting business is almost two-thirds of the total revenue which we do as a company.
Okay, that's quite a lot. You also did talk about the Medi journey. So tell us a bit about that on the medical tourism venture and how does it operate?
I don't know why. I've always been very keen to be part of this health sector, because I see India emerging as a destination where a lot of other countries will seek medication. And it's relatively an unorganized field. And my forte has always been, to get into an unorganized situation and try and organize it. So medical tourism, falls in that category. The amount of business we do in India is amazing. So if I'm not being too optimistic, I see a medical journey to be my next gifting company kind of a venture.
Okay, but what role does it play in F&B?
We are basically a felicitator. We have a website, we have online, offline presence, and we have got agents all over the world in all the countries where most of the people come from. And we from getting that person to the hospital, getting him treated, and sending him back to his country. So we are kind of an agent who help you go through that medical treatment.
Okay, got it.
We have got tie-up with almost 150 odd hospitals all across the country. We are also operating from Dubai. We have office in Bangladesh. We are now getting into West Africa. So I think all these countries, you have thousands of people coming every month to India and Delhi. And similarly, we have got a portal where we have got more than 2,000 doctors who are readily available for consultation. So it's like a medical solution hub.
Since we are talking about your growth strategy also, there have been emergence of various and several digital startups and competitors in the field. Do you see this as a challenge? Because gifting business is now emerging amongst the young.
See, challenge is always the encouragement to keep improving. So I don't see it as something bad. I think, and the kind of number one position we've been enjoying for many years, and we have got our plans in place, and for a new startup or a new company to be there, profitable, and threaten us, or maybe take some business out of us, we hopefully feel that it's not going to be that easy.
Do you have any plans of getting on the listed markets? I mean, I know FNP has been there for 30 years. Any plans to enter the market?
Yeah, that's one dream which has to get fulfilled as early as possible. So hopefully 2025 is the year, maybe towards the later part of it.
Oh, that's great.
That's definitely on the cards.
Oh, that's great. So you are looking to enter the markets, and that will definitely make you as one of the challenging players amongst the competitors. Would you agree?
Of course, that will definitely, give us a different status, and we feel that in the next 5 to 10 years, we have to be a true gifting multinational. We should be able to deliver anywhere in the world on Earth in 1 hour's time. That is a desire.
Oh, wow. One quick question before we end this interview, and it's on a very lighter note because wedding season is quite crazy in India, as they say. And of course, FNP holds quite a majority in that. Would you want to share a funny insight on how much you've spent or invested in a wedding business, particularly?
See, wedding business is not a very heavy capital intensive business. It's more of a service. And you see the turnaround time is such, we like wedding planning. Wedding planning is a service. If I'm doing decoration or infrastructure, I get paid in advance. So basically, it's not a very capital intensive business, but yes, it's a emotional intensive business. Your personal involvement, your how you comfort your client, and you are there to make that memorable time come good. So I think I've invested more emotionally than financially in this business.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Vikas, for joining us on this conversation. As we pick up, I think the biggest headline is the fact that you're looking to launch your IPO maybe in the later half of 2025 if you're standing by your growth targets, and the fact that you're aiming to get a turnover of close to 1,000 crores for FY25, which is going to be quite about 25 to 30% jump for your book. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation.
Thank you so much, Karishma, for having me over. Thanks a lot.
Well, that was Ferns and Petals, one of the leading startups, which has completed about 30 years in the business, is foraying into 12 different sectors, and the most important, looking into get into the bull and bear market by 2025 end.